Warning: Title 17 U.S. Code 512F provides penalties for the deliberate misrepresentation of copyright infringement. The owners and authors of this video, the common denominator, and the Paramystic Broadcast Channel are a nonprofit 501c3 exempt organization and believes in good faith that it constitutes educational fair use, as per Title 17 U.S.C. 107. Persons, agencies, attorneys, and/or social media algorithms filing a false or frivolous Digital Millennium Copyright Act complaint may be subject to civil liability. Warning: the following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Accordingly, viewer discretion is advised. Well, happy Saturday, everybody. How's it going? This is Cyber Warfare. Questions, answers, tips, and tricks when it comes down to technology. So, we'll get started with just a little bit of things that are in the news as far as tech. Canadian federal police say they were targeted by, excuse me, by a cyber attack. The federal police said Friday their systems were targeted by an alarming cyber attack, but there was no impact on operations or no known threat to the safety or concerns for Canadians. If the federal police can get hacked, I seriously think it's probably a safety issue. NVIDIA. NVIDIA is in the market. NVIDIA makes graphic cards, and graphic cards are used in every laptop, PC, phone, tablet, etc. And it's a graphics card that processes the information coming into the computer and being put out in a video form. So NVIDIA adds a record $277 billion in its stock market value. On the 22nd, NVIDIA added that amount to its stock market value on Thursday. Wall Street's largest one-day gain in history after the heavyweight chip maker quarterly report beat expectations and reignited a rally fueled by optimism about artificial intelligence. And yes, artificial intelligence will make it into our show yet again this week. For the simple fact is there's some groundbreaking stuff on that. Julius Baer in Zurich, February 23rd, suffered an outage that prevented its customers and bankers from accessing the systems, and quickly restored full service. A Swiss bank said that the temporary outage of an IT system on late Friday afternoon, the 16th, due to a highly evasive hacker presence in their database. So, the Swiss bank in Zurich was hit. Um, and guys, I'm telling you, this AI stuff's getting out of hand. Here's another one for you. General Motors crews to resume robo-taxi tests on city roads in coming week. By the Bloomberg report, General Motors self-driving car unit Cruise is preparing to resume testing its robo-taxi on public roads with safety drivers in the coming weeks, with Houston and Dallas as potential locations. Cruise suspended its U.S. operations in October after an incident in San Francisco where one of its robo taxis dragged a pedestrian and struck another car. It says, quote, "We do not have a set time for deployment. Our goal is to relaunch in one city with manually driven vehicles and supervised testing as soon as it's possible once we have taken steps to rebuild the trust with regulators and the public." I'm sorry, but if your car is going to pick me up and drag me down the road and then hit another vehicle, I really don't think I'll be using your taxi service. Okay, so AI, open source, things like that. Stay away from it, guys. Cyber criminals weaponizing open source, using the SSH Snake tool for network attacks. Recently, open source network mapping tool called SSH Snake has been repurposed by threat actors to conduct malicious activities. SSH Snake is a self-modifying worm that leverages your SSH credentials and discovered on a compromised system to start spreading itself throughout the network. The worm automatically searches through known credential location and shell history files to determine its next move. So this thing is so powerful, it knows what to look for within your network and your file. So SSH is designed uh, basically it's a privacy deal. Um, and if your privacy is not protected, um, this thing's going to find anything to do with your SSH files that have that tag to it. In doing so, it creates a comprehensive map of a network and its dependencies, helping determine the extent from which a network can be compromised using SSH and SSH private keys starting from a particular host. It also supports resolution of domains which have multiple IP4 addresses. So this is going to be one thing that's going to be very, very highly used to attack larger corporations that have bigger server banks. Um, uh, Probably, honestly, government, Fortune 500 companies like Amazon, Google, things like that. People that have a lot to lose from getting their servers hacked. So, a new age of quote unquote hacktivism. In the past 2 years, we've observed a significant surge in hacktivism activity due to the ongoing wars and geopolitical conflicts in various regions. Since the war against Ukraine began, we have witnessed a notable mobilization of non-state and state-backed threat actors alike, forming new groups or joining existing hacker collectives. We understand hacktivism as a form of computer hacking that is done to further the goals of political or social activism. While activism describes a normal, non-disruptive use of the internet in order to support a specific cause, i.e., online petitions, fundraising, coordinating activities, etc., hacktivism includes operations that use hacking techniques with the intent to disrupt, but not to cause serious harm, e.g., data theft, website defacement, redirects, denial of service attacks, etc. Cyber operations that inherit a willingness or intent to cause harm to physical property, severe economic damage, or loss of life would be referred to as cyber terrorism. The lines between conducting cyber operations under the term of hacktivism and engaging in hostilities and causing severe damage and harm are becoming more and more blurry to find that red line on which it's so easy to cross in this stuff. With ongoing wars and conflicts, cyberspace has become messier than ever. We see new leveling of the physical and cyber battlefields, resulting in a very thin line between physical, quote unquote, war and cyber, quote unquote, hacktivism. As a doctor and a professor of cybersecurity put it, contemporary events show us that hacktivism has become mainstream and is now an inevitable dimension of political conflicts. Even those that end up in a kinetic clash between states, testing the virtual limits of the symbolic, sensationalist hacks, vigilantism, cyber espionage, and even cyber warfare. We began tracking some of the most active hacktivists group in 2023. One factor at increased transparency and ongoing hacktivism activity is quote unquote visibility. We are now able to follow and subscribe to hacktivist communications channels. So they're going into these people's channels, and that's how they're starting to track people. This is no surprise to me. I see this as a huge issue to begin with. I've preached against not having Telegram or WhatsApp, and there's a reason. Telegram and WhatsApp is widely used messaging service misused by hacktivists. While Telegram and WhatsApp is attempted to counter malicious activities on its platform, they do face challenges many digital service providers face. The ability of abusers to return with a new username, new channel name, and a new account and continue as usual. Last September, WhatsApp and Telegram banned a main channel of a hacktivist group called Anonymous Sudan, which most likely based on their use of bots. And to give you guys an idea, bots are like when you are getting a chat from somebody, or you're on a live and somebody just puts in, hey, I just wanted to have you check out my webpage, etc., 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 and you can tell it is a bot or a robot. But most likely based on their use of bots, not because of their engagement in various forms of cyber aggression. The group replied to this action with the following: the main Telegram and WhatsApp getting banned is not a big issue for us. Our operation shall continue. We thank all of you for your continued support. Expect some attacks soon. 29 people clapped, 15 hearted, 4 thumbs up, 4 smiles, 3 clowns, etc., etc. It was seen by 15.6 thousand people in the first 30 seconds that it was produced and posted. Another channel was created and their activities continued. So they cannot follow these guys on anything other than bots. They are not even trying to shut these people down and keep them shut down. They don't care to follow their cyber criminalistic activity. They'd rather sit there and just ban them for using bots. U.S. state government network was breached via a former employee's account. The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, or CISA, has revealed that an unnamed site government organization network's environment was compromised by an administrator account belonging to a former employee. This allowed the threat actor to successfully authenticate to an internal virtual private network, or an IVPN access point. The agency said in a joint adversary published Thursday alongside the multi-site informational sharing and analysis center. The threat actor connected to the VPN through the victim's VPN with the intent to blend in with legitimate traffic and evade detection. Essentially, our U.S. government lost control because they neglected to revoke the credentials and sign-in capabilities of one of its former employees. Basically turn around and let them get in and do whatever they wanted. And it wasn't until they were caught that it was found. Who knows how long it had happened. This person had been outside of the agency for 2.5 years. So what was leaked? A new thing that's going on with AI as well is AI and hackers are weaponizing AI to exploit job boards, stealing millions of resumes and personal data. So places like Indeed, things like that, they are going and they are stealing people's resumes and stuff off of Indeed, and they are trying to steal the identity of the individual. So that alone is scary. Not even our resumes are safe, even if we are using a secured site. So at this point, it looks like they have stolen 2,079,027 unique emails. And 65 websites have been compromised. And the majority of the compromised websites were based in India, Taiwan, Thailand, Vietnam, China, Australia, Turkey, Brazil, but mainly the US, Turkey, Russia, Mexico, and Italy are the last that hold the highest amount of emails that have been stolen. And this is seriously, seriously unnerving. I try and keep politics out of cyber warfare show, but it is very hard to do at times when they come up with stuff like this. They feel like we need to democratize cybersecurity. So essentially what they're saying is, with breaches making the headlines almost weekly, the cybersecurity challenges we face are becoming visible not only to large enterprises who have built security capabilities over the years, but also to the small to medium businesses and the broader public. This is creating greater awareness among smaller businesses of the need to improve their security posture. Small to medium businesses are often left facing a gap in the market, unable to find security tooling that is both easy for them to use and which they can afford. So essentially, because small businesses are so strapped to make it as it is, like the little man, it's really hard in the US economy for that to happen. And for them to succeed, they can't always afford the top notch cybersecurity stuff in which other people are able to. Excuse me. So they're left to roll with the punches, so to speak. When we consider the needs of small to medium businesses, we need to focus on both that the development of the threat intelligence, which is necessary to understand and identify the threats being faced, as well as tools that they can use for provided protection. The NTTSH has built a pedigree over 20 years experience in the research and curation of threat intelligence, as well as the development of capabilities and products which leverage its threat intelligence to protect its customers. However, it is a severely highly expensive situation, because they would have to audit your business, they'd have to audit your cyber activity and things like that, and then would sell you everything on the backside. So in the USA alone, over the last year, 70% of all attacks on the healthcare sector was by ransomware. Ransomware is taking a huge bit, and the top ransomware out there is Lockbit 3.0. So essentially, if we sit there and we let our government put in cybersecurity for everybody across the board, I'm going to tell you what that's going to entail. You may call me a uh, uh, what do I want to say? A conspiracy theorist, but I play devil's advocate like Chad on Truck It. He's the exact same way, and he's very versatile in tech as well. So, i.e., point yourself in this direction of the rabbit hole I'm going down. The U.S. government gets a hold, and every computer that's sold, cell phone, tablet, things like that, they already can access anyway. But if we put them in charge of cybersecurity, they can literally tap in twice as easy if they wanted to monitor what we're doing at home on our computer. Even if what we're saying, what information we're trying to get out there. So government, Big Brother has already put its finger down on free press and journalism, and telling people what they can be told and what they can't be told, and what they can report on and can't report on. It used to be a free speech, and we had to go as far as make law for Freedom of Information Act. Okay, Freedom of Information Act. It's called library. Do your research. I get everybody wants to have it in their hand at home. It's not necessarily a necessity. We've all lived without technology before, and the internet. It's not something we have to live. It's not a food source. It's not nutritional. It's not hydrating. So we don't absolutely have to have the internet to survive. It's a bad thing. They've already unleashed AI, turn around again, and they want to democratize cybersecurity. Why would they want to? People are still going to hack. It's not going to get any worse. You're just creating another part and branch of government and office that we're going to have to pay for, and they can't get it done now. Your government offices are getting hacked. So no, I don't believe that they should have control over that. Microsoft, OpenAI warns of nation-state hackers weaponizing AI for cyber attacks. This is what I've been saying since they launched AI, since the president signed off on it. It's a pre-existing platform filled with all the training it needs for somebody to just go in there and change it. Nation-state actors associated with Russia, North Korea, Iran, and China are experimenting with artificial intelligence and large language models to complement their ongoing cyber attack operations on other countries. The findings came from a report published by Microsoft in collaboration with OpenAI, both of which said they disrupted efforts made by 5 state-affiliated actors that used its AI services to perform malicious cyber activities by terminating their assets and their accounts. Language support is a neutral feature of large language models and is attractive for threat actors with continuous focus on social engineering and other techniques relying on false, deceptive communications tailored to their targets' jobs, professional networks, and their relationships. While no significant or novel attacks employing the large language models have been detected to date, adversarial exploration of AI technologies have transcended various phases of the attack chain, such as reconnaissance, coding assistance, and malware development. These actors are generally sought to use OpenAI services and query open source information, translating, finding coding errors, and running basic coding tasks. For instance, the Russian National State Group, tracked as quote unquote Forest Blizzard, or also known as APT 28, is said to have used its offerings to conduct open source research into satellite communication protocols and radar imaging technology, as well as its support for scripting tasks and pinpointing future missile site locations. Some of the notable hacking crews are also doing the same. Microsoft said that it is formulating a set of principles to mitigate the risk posed by the malicious use of AI tools and APIs by nation states' advanced persistent threats, advanced persistent manipulators, and cyber criminal syndicates, and conceive effective guardrails and safety mechanisms be put up around its models. These principles include identification and action against malicious threat actors, use notification to other AI service providers, collaboration with other stakeholders, and transparency. So essentially, this is going to be the issue. You have China, Russia, Iran, and what was the other one? Okay, you got Russia, North Korea, Iran, and China are the ones that are weaponizing their artificial intelligence. So essentially, if you are playing War of the Worlds online, okay, and how everything works is the AI or the computer that you're playing against, because it's a first person shooter game, so you have the computer fighting against you. It's consistently learning from its mistakes. You might have it set at easy, but before you get through the third phase, you're at master difficult trying to fight it off, because it's growing, it's learning, and artificial intelligence, that's exactly what it is designed to do. Another one. A U.S. district court has opened its doors to AI only to shut them all too fast as its AI component software program issued 165 arrest warrants within the district, 75 of which the perps have been dead for like 40 years. They need to learn from that a little bit. Good grief. So, does anybody else in the comments have any questions about anything pertaining to technology? I am here. If I don't know the answer right off the top of my head, I will research it live on here with you, and I will answer it to the best of my abilities. Or as another host on here, Vincent, says, he'll make up a good answer for you, and you'll believe it eventually. um, so something else is going on in the tech world is why do widespread tech layoffs keep happening despite uh, what is going on in this intelligent boom, which is what is essentially going on right now. We are in a huge boom with AI. And while they claim that they have added 350,000 jobs in January, tech keeps falling behind. So, out of the 350,000 jobs that they created, the tech industry lost 42,000 jobs. And last year, tech employees got laid off to the tune of 263,000 people that had lost their jobs. AI is taking over a lot of space, and then we wonder why we can't talk to a real person on the phone when we call to try and pay our electric bill. Just released yesterday, NASA tech contributes to a soft moon landing. Agency science is underway. For the first time in more than 50 years, new NASA science instruments and technology demonstrations are operating on the moon following the first successful delivery of the agency's commercial lunar payload service. Intuitive Machines, called Odysseus, completed a 7-day journey to the lunar orbit and executed procedures to softly land on Malapert A in the South Pole region of the moon at 5:24 p.m. Central Standard Time on February 22nd. The lander is healthy, collecting solar power and transmitting data back to the company's mission control in Houston. The mission marks the first commercial uncrewed landing on the moon, carrying 6 NASA science research and technology demonstrations among other customer payloads. All NASA science instruments completed transit checkouts en route to the moon. I seriously see us going back to the moon very, very soon. It's there. We know it's there. We've already sent drones and everything else to Mars. So I seriously do see this coming to fruition again. So as far as any other tech news, I really don't have a lot. I do know that they are cracking down with a lot of things, especially the YouTube kids. Do I think they're going to make it essentially safe for every kid? No, it's not going to happen. I have mine set for my 5-year-old. It's set down to 2, just for the simple fact is some of the stuff that's on there is still not age appropriate. We went with that for a while, and then we decided we got rid of YouTube Kids altogether. We now went to Happy Kids. And parents that are wondering what Happy Kids is, I will put the link in uh, here down in the comments. It is completely safe. It is monitored and looked at by a human before anything can be uploaded to their page or to their streaming platform. And a lot of it is educational. So that is also another great one for kids. Um, what else did I want to talk about? WhatsApp and Telegram. You guys know my love-hate relationship with that, as along with artificial intelligence. Be very mindful. I'm going to cover one more thing again here. When we talk about passwords, I covered this on a previous show, but there's the importance. We are now in the second month. About every 3 to 4 months, you want to change your passwords. Artificial intelligence, it's learning. You don't know when it's watching. Yeah, it might be in just dots or asterisks. When you put it in, the computer knows what it is. All it has to do is transfer the information over. So essentially, this gives you an idea. So at the top, you have number of characters, numbers only, lowercase, upper and lowercase, upper or numbers, lowercase and uppercase letters, and then numbers, upper, lowercase letters, and symbols. So if you have 6 characters, you're vulnerable straight across the board, and the time it would take a hacker to force your password in. Mine is 17, and I would fall under the numbers, upper, lowercase letters, and symbols. It would take a computer 380 billion years to hack my password. So look at this, guys. So whatever your passwords are, this is in exactly how much time it would take a computer and a hacker to bust your password. If I had 18 characters and I had numbers only, it would only take the computer 6 days to figure it out. If I had 10 characters and I used all lowercase letters, it would take it a minute. If I had 7 characters and I used upper and lowercase letters, it would take it 1 second. Be very, very, very careful. Switch your passwords up every 3 to 4 months. If you've not changed your Facebook password, and the amount of time it's taken for everybody to lately be hacked, it's scary. It's dangerous. So essentially, I will put that as well on how to change your Facebook password. Update it, people. Hackers find it. Computers are learning it. All it takes is for you to click on one thing and you're automatically lost access to it already. And then you got to shut down and build your Facebook all over again. I see we got 2 people watching. I don't really have too much more than that unless you guys have some questions or some feedback, rather. Be mindful, watch the kids, be proactive. It's a dangerous frontier, and we all use it every day, the information highway. The biggest thing is protect them kids. Don't just give them a phone as a babysitting tool or to quote unquote shut them up. Be proactive. protect our kids. You got sex traffickers and kidnappers that are pinpointing with IP addresses. You use a Wi-Fi enable on your cell phone, tablet, etc., or laptop. It's got its own IP address. They can triangulate. They can literally pinpoint what's going on. It's a scary world. This is what we have to live with. We do the best we can and combat it. On that note, I am going to sign off early. I will see what comes down the pipe if we're going to have a show next week, just with the cyber stuff going on or what. We'll just have to see what the rest of the week provides us for information. So on that note, you guys have a great weekend and be safe out there. Godfather out.
time, a generation of my time.